An ordinary young man in America hears a powerful warning from Kevin O'Leary about gold. With nothing but savings and hope, he takes one bold risk. This is a story about courage, smart choices, and how a single decision can transform a struggling life forever. If this story inspires you, don't forget to like the video and subscribe for more powerful cinematic stories that can change the way you see success. In a small industrial town near Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, lived a young man named Alex Miller. He was not rich. He was not special. He was just another face in the crowd of hard-working Americans trying to survive rising bills and endless work shifts. Every morning before sunrise, Alex boarded the cold city bus to reach the steel factory where he worked 10 hours a day. The noise of machines filled his ears, and the smell of oil followed him home. At night, he returned to a tiny rented room, tired, silent, and full of dreams he didn't know how to reach. Alex lived with his mother, Sarah, in a small apartment. His father had passed away years ago, leaving behind responsibility and lessons about hard work. His mother cleaned houses to support them, and Alex promised himself he would one day give her a better life. But promises don't pay bills. One freezing evening, after another long shift, Alex lay on his bed scrolling through his phone. Random videos passed by until one face made him stop. It was Kevin O'Leary. The famous Shark Tank investor stared into the camera and said, "When inflation rises and currencies weaken, smart investors protect themselves with gold. Gold preserves wealth." Alex replayed the clip again and again. Those words echoed in his mind. Protect yourself. Gold preserves wealth. He had heard of Kevin O'Leary before. Everyone had. The man who built companies, made millions, and spoke with brutal honesty. If someone like him was warning people, maybe it wasn't just talk. That night, Alex couldn't sleep. The next day at work, he shared the video with his coworker and best friend Mark. "You really believe this stuff?" Mark asked while wiping sweat from his face. "I don't know," Alex replied. But Kevin O'Leary didn't get rich by guessing. Maybe he sees something coming. Mark laughed. "Man, people like us don't win. We just work." Alex smiled, but deep inside, he refused to accept that. That weekend, Alex went to the local library and started reading about gold. He learned how, during economic crises, wars, and inflation, people always turned to gold. While paper money lost value, gold held strong. Gold wasn't just metal, it was trust. But Alex didn't have money to waste. Over 3 years, he had saved $4,000, every extra dollar from overtime shifts. He wanted to use it for college one day. That money was his future. At dinner, he finally spoke to his mother. "Mom," he said, "what if I invest some of my savings in gold?" She looked at him with worry. "Alex, what if it goes wrong?" "I won't risk everything," he said softly. "But if I never take a chance, nothing will ever change." She held his hand. "Your father used to say, be brave, but be wise. Promise me you'll be careful." "I promise." After days of thinking, Alex decided to invest half of his savings. Not all, just enough to take a chance. He visited a trusted dealer in the city and bought a small gold bar. When the man placed it in his hand, Alex felt its weight, not just in grams, but in hope. This tiny piece of gold carried his dreams. Weeks passed. At first, gold prices dropped slightly. Alex's heart sank. Every night he checked prices, feeling fear crawl into his chest. What if I was wrong? What if I lose it all? Many times, he wanted to sell and walk away. But then he remembered Kevin O'Leary's words, and his mother's trust. So he waited. Months went by. News channels started talking about rising inflation, unstable markets, and growing uncertainty. People were worried. Investors were nervous. And slowly, gold began to rise. Alex watched in disbelief as the numbers climbed higher than what he had paid. His small investment was growing. One evening, Mark called him. "Bro, you were right," Mark said. "Gold is flying." Alex smiled. But he stayed calm. He knew this wasn't luck. It was patience. By the end of the year, gold hit record levels. Alex's investment had nearly doubled. For the first time in his life, he felt like his future wasn't locked in a factory. He sold part of his gold, paid off some debts, and surprised his mother with the news. "We're going to be okay, Mom," he said with tears in his eyes. She hugged him tightly. "I'm proud of you." But Alex didn't stop there. Instead of spending it all, he reinvested, learned more about finance, and started building smarter habits. He took online courses. He followed markets. He studied every night. He wasn't chasing fast money anymore. He was building a future. Years later, Alex no longer worked at the factory. He had started a small financial consulting service, helping ordinary people understand savings and investments. And on his desk, he kept that first tiny gold bar. Not because of its value, but because it reminded him of the day he chose courage over fear. Whenever someone asked him what changed his life, Alex would smile and say, "I once heard Kevin O'Leary warn about gold, but what really changed my life was finally believing I could change it myself."